Hi everyone, welcome back to CloudDemoDive. In our last video, we learned about IAM, that is Identity and Access Management in AWS, which is the AWS Gatekeeper. So in this video today, we are taking that security to the next level. In this video, we are talking the most powerful tool of data protection, that is of AWS Key Management Service, that is AWS KMS. So this is the next hands-on lab for this AWS Skill Builder series. So let's get started. So what is AWS KMS? So KMS, in simple terms, it's a service that makes it easy for you to create and manage cryptographic keys and to control the use of encryption across a wide range of AWS services. Instead of you having a handle to complex secure management of encryption keys, AWS handles it for you. Basically, whatever data we have the encryption at rest and in transit as well. So AWS handles it for us. This is a crucial service for protecting our sensitive data both at rest and in transit. So it's the core of most AWS encryption solutions. So let's talk about the key concepts of AWS KMS. So when we talk about KMS, there are three main concepts to understand. First is the KMS key, which is the primary resource in KMS. It's a logical key that you can use for encryption and decryption. Second is the process of encryption and decryption itself, which you will perform using your AWS KMS key. And the third one is the key policy, which is similar to an IAM policy, but it is specific to the KMS key itself. Defining who can use and manage the key is the basically the key policy is used for. The separation of concern between who can access the IAMs like services and who can use a specific key gives you fine graded control over the data security. So this is the basic the high level KMS concepts you can see, you can understand. So let's talk about what we have in this today's lab. So in today's lab we are going to put these concepts into practice. We will start by creating a new KMS key, then we will create an S3 bucket that uses our new key to automatically encrypt data and it's uploaded. Finally, we will use a monitoring service called CloudTrail to track how our key is being used, giving us an audit trail of its activity. So yeah, that's it. Let's get going and let's do the hands-on on the AWS Skill Builder page. Let's go. Yeah, so log into your AWS Skill Builder page and log in with your credentials. We have this learning plan which we enrolled to the AWS Skill Builder series. You just click on that. In this series, we completed 4 lessons. So this is the fifth hands-on lab on AWS KMS. I think yeah, the VPC one we concluded, EC2 we concluded, Lambda we concluded. Oh no, I think it's the VPC one we concluded, EC2 we concluded, and the S3 one we concluded, and the IM one we concluded. The 4 one we concluded earlier. So in this one we will conclude the introduction to AWS KMS, Key Management Service. So just click on Go to Training and start learning. Click on Start It. So if you click on Start, the AWS Training and Certification team will create a document for us to do the hands-on on AWS KMS. So they will provide the full document of it to how to do the hands-on on AWS console, and they will also create a AWS account for us, the lab account in which we will do the hands-on. So yeah, if you have gone through my videos earlier, you will be pretty much familiar with these hands-on. So yeah, let's uh, go and check it out. So here you can see this is the document related to the AWS KMS, and we have some task right up here and the knowledge check as well. So for start this, you have to click on Start Lab and just accepting the terms and condition and click on Start. You can see all these steps are mentioned here. So in this one, we are going to create some KMS master key, then configure CloudTrail to store the logs in a S3 bucket, and then upload an image in S3 bucket and then encrypted it and access the encrypted image. Then in next task we will monitor KMS activity using CloudTrail logs, and at last we have manage encryption keys, how we are going to manage that AWS KMS keys. So you can see the lab is started. You have this open console button right up here, so just click on that. So it will create a lab for us. So basically this is the lab, with this is the lab user it is created, so we are going to use this one only. Let's go and start our first task, that is create your KMS master key. So we have to open the KMS here, search for the KMS or key management service, just click on it, and you have to click on create a key. And while configuring the key we have to select the symmetric one. Then just click on create a key. We have to choose the key type as symmetric one, and what we are going to use, we are going to encrypt and decrypt, so the uses should be encrypt and decrypt. So you can see right up here, just choose the symmetric one and click on next. Next we have to put a alias display name for the key and the description as well. So this is the my first key, I'm setting it as my first name first key, and the alias description is the KMS key for S3 data. You can also add some tags if you want, but for now I'm just leaving it. Click on next. Next, on the define key administration permission page, select the user or role you are signed into the console. The user is displayed in the top of the page to the right of the AWS region. It start with the character AWS lab user basically. So this is the federated user you have. So you have to just choose this lab user here. Just choose that. You can also enter this one to search and select the user. I'm just entering this one only, lab user, then select this one and then click on next. After that we have to define key usage permissions, that is optional. Like define key administrative permissions for that user, and then we have to define the key usage permissions. So yeah, on the define key usage permission page, select the user role you are signed in with the console, and the same way you selected in the previous step. So I'm just copying this one and again selecting this user only, AWS lab user. The policy is generated for us, you can see right up here. You can also edit it if you want, but this is the policy which we created using these two fields. So just review those rules. Next, click on next. We have to just click on next, and we have on the review page, and after that we have to just review all the details, the key policies, and just click on finish. So in this way we are able to create our first key in key management service, AWS KMS. So the first task is completed. The next task, for that we will need this key ID. So I'm just clicking on that and copy this key ID. So this is the key ID. I'm just copying it so that we will be using it in for later tasks. So next task is to configure the CloudTrail to store logs in new S3 bucket. So we have to store the logs in S3 bucket of the CloudTrail log. So in the search bar, you have to just search for the CloudTrail. So I'm just searching for CloudTrail. Open it up, and then at the top of the page, if you safely ignore, sometimes access denies exception will appear. So yeah, you can see this warning is generated. So you can just ignore this. In the left navigation panel, choose trials. You have to just go to the trials one. You can see right up there, and we have to create a trial here with these details. I'm just clicking on CloudTrail. We have to paste the trial name as my trail. Then we have to trail log bucket name and folder. So I think there is one already existing bucket name with this name, I think. Or let me just check my CloudTrail bucket. There is no any bucket. Okay, so we have to create a new bucket. Yeah, trial bucket name and folder with a random number. So I'm just picking this account ID as a random number, and the number I'm replacing it here. My CloudTrail bucket. Then deselect enable for log file SSE KMS encryption. So deselect this one, SSE KMS encryption. Log file validation is enabled, and click on next. Rest of the fields, like keep it as is. Click on next. Next we have to choose the log events. So in log events, select management events, data events, and insight events. Management event, data events, and the insight events. Select these three. In data event section, choose switch to basic event selector. Switch to basic event selector. Where should it go? In data events, in data event section, choose switch to basic event selector. Data event section. So yeah, we have this data event section. Switch to basic event selector. Click on here. Just click on continue. So basic event selector is there, and then in the insight event section, select API call rate and error rate. API call rate and API error rate, and then click on next. So after that, we are on to the review and create page. Just review all these details which we are filled entered right away. Just click on create trail. So it will take a few minutes. Like it will create a new cloud trail for us with the name my trail. You can see right up here. Now the reason is US West one, I think. Yeah, West 2, correct. US West 2, the lab region. This is the correct one. So the second task is completed as well, in which we created the cloud trail. So the third task is to upload an image to your S3 bucket and encrypt it. So just go to the S3. Let me just open the S3 here. Go to the bucket which we created. That is the bucket name. My cloud trail bucket, this one. And then upload a file, and upload any image file from my computer, like your computer as well. So just click on upload and add files. Let me just add any file like this one. I'll just add this one and click on upload. Okay, so now in this manner you don't have to upload. You have to first select some things right up here. So I have to delete first, then I will re-upload this image by setting the encryption key as well. So I'm just copying this thing to delete this object. Why I don't have the access to delete it, or what? I think so. Yeah, I don't have the access. So yeah, let me just upload a new again this file again. Yeah, I uploaded this file. Just expand the properties section here. You can see we have different storage classes and all of the things, and the server side encryption is there. So yeah, we have the don't specify any encryption key, so we have to set an encryption key right now. So for encryption setting, select the specify an encryption key, and for the encryption setting we are going with the override bucket setting for default encryption. So this is the one. And then in the encryption type we are selecting the select side server side encryption with the AWS KMS, with AWS KMS, this one. Then we have to choose the ARN AWS key. So we have one AMS key already created. So that is my first AMS key. I'm just choosing that one and scroll down to the bottom and just click on upload. So now you will be able to see that my image is uploaded here in the bucket. You can see, choose the object tab, just open this thing in the object tab. From the row that lists the image you uploaded, record the last modified timestamp to the text editor. Later in the lab you will be used. Okay, so the timestamp which we are using, so this is the timestamp. Let me just copy it, like when we last modified it, we will be using that for the taking up into the CloudTrail logs. So yeah, once that done, we are done with the task 3, that to upload an image on the S3 bucket and encrypt it, adding the KMS key. So let's get to the task 4, that to access the encrypted image. In the object tab, select the image name and choose open. So just click on here and click on open. It will tries to open the image into a new tab. You can see, you can see the image opens in a new tab. Amazon S3 sends the encrypted data to AWS KMS. KMS decrypts the key by using the appropriate master key and send the plain text key back to the AWS. Behind the scene, this thing will happen. And AWS S3 decrypt the ciphertext and remove the plain text data from the memory as soon as possible. So this is the flow, what is happening behind the scene. So close the window tab that displays. Let me just close it, and then with the image selected, choose the copy URL and paste the URL in the text editor. So let me just copy this and copy the URL, object URL. I think with the image selected, choose copy URL. Okay, so here we have to just select this image and copy URL. Yeah, I copied the URL. The URL looks like something this. Yeah, it's this. Then paste the S3 object URL that you copied into a new browser window and press enter. What does the page show? If I just paste it here, so it says it has access denied, like uh, it is not opening the image, and says the access denied error. This is because the default public access is not allowed. So this is why we are trying to access it using the object URL and from the publicly accessed thing, like we don't have the encryption key and we are able to view the image using the object URL. So that's why it is not, we are not able to view it here. And let's, so that's the reason. If you just open this one, behind the scene it will do all the things. You can see all this KMS keys and all the things it will do, and then encrypt and decrypt the things for this image. So that is how the KMS will work behind the scene. So now let's go to the AWS console management, and in the S3 bucket page, just go to the permission tab right up here. You have to just in the public block access, you have to just edit it and keep it as off, and just click on save changes and then confirm to basically you can say to change that the this image is now visible for all. So if I just click on refresh, oh no, it's not yet visible. So yeah, we have to add the ACL enable object ownership. So yeah, we have to go to the permission again, and then in the object ownership we have to edit it and ACL enable, so that we will ACL enable, click on save changes, and after acknowledging this one. So once that is done, now if you will be able to refresh this page, Okay, so yeah, once you enabled the enabling the ACL, now you have to just choose the, you have to make it public using ACL. So once we are done with the ACL enable thing, so next you have to go to the, I think you have to go to the actions menu, where that is, I think in the permission one, in the object tab select the images. Okay, so what object we want to give the access, for that we have to just select that and go to actions, make public using ACL. Now if we make it publicly, so now if you just refresh this thing, still it is not visible. Why? I don't know. It is, make it public status page. The message shows the access change was successful. Then close it. Navigate to the browser tab into S3 object URL. Refresh the tab. What do you see? Because the image is encrypted. Okay. So yeah, we made the publicly access image from here using ACL, but still it is not viewable from the uh, S3 object URL. So yeah, that's the thing. We are not able to view it from the public link, right? You should see a message saying request and specifying error, server side encryption, something like that. You can see AWS managed key required invalid argument with something like that, AWS signature version 4. So this needs, like, this KMS is not authorizing us. Basically we are not having that. So if we are uploading or accessing object encrypted by SSE KMS, we need to use the AWS signature version for added security. So signature version is the process to add authentication to AWS request. When we use the AWS command line interface, one of the AWS SDKs to make request to AWS, these tool automatically signs the request for uh, us with the access keys that we specify to configure the tools. So yeah, that's the thing. Then yeah, that is why we are not able to access this URL, public URL. Close this window. So yeah, the next task is completed, in which we attempted to access the S3 object through both the AWS console and the S3 link. So in the AWS management console, we are able to view it because the KMS authorizes that we are having the KMS encryption and decryption, and then we are able to view it. But using the S3 public URL, after making it public using the ACL enabled, it is not able to view it because it has the key encryption added to it. So that is why we are not able to view it. The next one is, um, let's go to the next task, like to monitor the KMS activity, what we did using the CloudTrail logs. So select the object tab and go to the AWS logs folder. So here one folder is there, AWS logs. Select that, and we have some logs in here. So just follow this path in this CloudTrail region and then the date, and yeah. And so just CloudTrail, then the region US West one, date 9/19/18. So yeah, we have quite a few file here. So the log file have a json.gz file extension. So you can see all the files having json.gz file extension. So go to the last modified timestamp, that is later than the timestamp for the image file you downloaded. So basically in earlier step you copy the image timestamp, yeah. So we copied the timestamp, use the timestamp when identifying a log file to review. So we have to check that log file where later than the timestamp for the image you downloaded. So yeah, we have to let me just, I copied the timestamp, that is 200406. Let me just filter it out, 0406. So after that, what is the first log? So that is the first log, that is 2406. We have to open that one. If yes, continue to the next step. Yeah, so if you are able to find that, just continue to the next step, otherwise keep refreshing, you will be able to see that. After checking the log file, you just click on that log file and click on open it. So it will open the log file in the browser, you can see right up here. And then if you see a pop-up security warning confirms that you want to open the file, if not, continue to the next step. Yeah, we will be able to see that file. So this log file is in JSON format, contains each API calls and logged in the CloudTrail. Depending upon the browser you will using, the log file might look slightly different. So yeah, we are in the Chrome browser, so we will be able to see in this format. So you can see last modified timestamp. If you imagine you have uploaded, in this case, navigate to the S3 console and open the search log file closest time you have uploaded. You still don't see the image name and the encryption key ID. Open the next file. You can just check for the tried searching. Okay, so in the log file, you have to just search for that encryption key which we created, the KMS key. So that is the KMS key. I'm just searching it here. If you are able to find it or not, I think that is not in this file. Yeah, that is not in this file, I think. So maybe that's the reason. Like, I have to check into another one. So in the AWS CloudTrail reason and then the date, right? So in the similar manner, I just go. If I check what is the timing at what time I will uploaded this file. Just check again. So it's uploaded on to 80406. So if I just refresh it, 80406, that's the recent one, most recent one. I have to just open that one and tries to find that ID here. If I just search for that one, I think that is not being populated here. You populate the search for the following in your log file: the encryption key ID that you copied, or the name of the file that you uploaded. See name of the file in the same log file that contains the encryption key ID. Okay. So in this log file, I think that is not present. Let me just check the file name as well. Just search for that one. So yeah, we have that file name already there. So yeah, pretty much these are the calls that are going to made at the time, but I don't see any of them having that encryption key. I don't know why. Let me just check. So I think I need to just reinsert this one. What is the number? In this one I'm not able to see, so let's go to the next one. I think let's check in this one. Click on open. And here if we can just search this one. So I think in this one also it is not there. Go for the next one. I think this one, if we are able to find out, in this one also it is not found. Go for the most recent one. Okay, so that is the most recent one. If we just go and check here, I think that is also not found here. So yeah, I think there might be some issue why I'm not able to see that. But yeah, in these we have those file names already present. So yeah, in these two files we have these file names, and if you just moving around these. If you can't locate the item, perhaps the log file you have opened was generated before the last modified timestamp. Yeah, open to search log file and you have uploaded. Okay. So yeah, in this way we can see that how many like API calls are going to be made. You can see this is the API call it made, and if we just can we make it as prettier print? Yeah, that is more beneficial here. If I go to the first one, you can see one pre-flight with the unsigned payload with the subscription key AMS key ID is this one. AWS Key KMS. You can just search for that. So yeah, in this one we have that AWS KMS key, and it is encrypted. I think yeah, it is encrypted using this host AWS KMS key server side encryption bucket enabled. Yeah, you can see right up here. So yeah, in this way, our we can check the logs to each API call logs, and in CloudTrail we have logged in all the things like whether the file is ingested with the KMS or not. So yeah, you can see in this log we can easily see that it is server side encryption using AWS AMS key for this file, for this image which we uploaded. So in this way we can see that we can say that our task 5 is completed, that we monitored KMS activity using CloudTrail logs. Next we will go to the task 6, that is manage the encryption keys. So for managing the encryption keys you have to just browse it and go to the S3 services. At the top page you will be able to see choose the AWS KMS keys. In the unified search bar, search for the choose AWS KMS Key Management Service. Go to the AWS. I think they are saying that you have to click on here. The left navigation panel, choose the customer managed key. We have our my first key. Click on that. In the key user section, select the user or role that you signed in with. If you just user section, go to the key user section. Just this is the user which we are assigned earlier. So just click on remove it. If you just remove that user, now if you will be tried out the user, if we remove that, the user permission to use these keys is removed. And the key user section, choose add then and search, select the user to role that you signed in with. The user start with the character this one. So if you just go and add another user with the AWS user one, this one, and click on add, immediately the user permissions of this key is restored. So in this way we can manage our encryption keys. So if we just remove this one, and after removing, if you will be able to try, I think that will not work. If we open it up, you can see it says access denied, something like that. But once we are added we add this user into this KMS keys, then if we try to access this thing, we will be able to see that image using the encryption and then decrypting using the AWS KMS key. So yeah, this is how we manage our encryption keys in AWS. We will do this hands-on on S3 object by uploading an image. So hope you guys like this video. So do it with yourself into this lab account. So you can also have that hands-on with your own. So after doing this, let's go to the launch the knowledge check to check our knowledge whether we are good in this AWS KMS thing or not. So this thing we have to do to complete this result one-on-one, passing the knowledge check. It will take a few minutes sometimes, and sometimes it will give the CloudFront error as well. So don't worry, just refresh this page and again click on knowledge check. You will be able to um, land it onto the knowledge page, knowledge check page test. So yeah, this is the assessment. We have 5 questions. Let's begin. The first question is the purpose of defining key administrative permission when creating a KMS master keys. The purpose of defining key administrative permission is to determine who can use the keys for encryption and decryptions. Key rotations, it is AWS services can use the keys. So the administrator permission is to use the key for encryption and decryption, or to control who can manage the keys properties and policies. Yeah, that's the thing, to manage the keys properties and policies. I think that's the right answer. I am confused on these two, so let's go with this one. What is the benefit of using KMS for S3 bucket encryption instead of S3 managed keys? It provides additional key management features and auditing. It is faster to encrypt. It allows unlimited storage, ways to encrypt data. So yeah, that's the one. It provides additional key management features and auditing. Primary purpose of configuring CloudTrail to store logs in an S3 bucket. The primary purpose of configuring CloudTrail to store the logs in S3 bucket is to enable the real-time log analysis, right? That's the thing, I think, to improve S3 bucket performance, to maintain audit trail on AWS account activity. Enable configuring store logs. The main purpose is to maintain an audit trail. Okay, so yeah, to enable the real-time log analysis. Yeah, that's the feature of I think CloudTrail. It is also for the audit trail for AWS account activity, but yeah, that's the thing I think more appropriate here. What is the basic principle of AWS control access for AWS KMS keys? No, so all user don't have the full access. Only the root user can access AWS key. Access is denied by default unless explicitly granted. KMS keys are automatically saved all across. So yeah, access is denied by default unless explicitly granted. So that's the thing I think. When CloudTrail event type would see U4 AWS KMS key uses monitoring. Which CloudTrail event type would you see for AWS KMS key uses? So that's the insight events, or the look event type would you see for AWS key usage monitoring. Key usage monitoring, we are going for the data events. That is the API calls, I think. Let me just finish the assessment and let me just check how many we are get correct. We got 3 correct and 2 incorrects. So for that, the CloudTrail events, we have to go to the management events, and the primary purpose is to maintain an audit trail. Okay, maintain an audit trail to the activity. So let's just retry this one by clicking on to the knowledge check assessment again. We will have like 20 attempts, I think. So let me just refresh it. Keep striving success. I think I have that. Attempt number 1 is this one. If you just click on summary, no, we have to just refresh this page, loading the assessment. So I think we have to just close it, and yeah, here the option is there, the retake is to just click on retake. It will again opens that assessment page. Just click on retake. This time we are choosing the correct one. Properties and policies, featuring and auditing, audit trials. Basic principle is to access is denied by default. This the management event for the CloudTrail event type. So now I think all the answers are correct in the second event. Yeah. So in this way, if you just submit it, you can see you passed this test, and just click on submit result. So once you passed, you will be able to you will complete this hands-on lab on the AWS KMS. You will just end this lab by clicking on the end lab button. So before clicking on this end lab, you have to just log out from these accounts, or once you end the lab, it will automatically sign out from there. So just click on complete lab and click on complete lab again, and that's how we completed this fifth lab of this AWS Skill Builder series. If you just go to the previous page, you can see we congratulations, we completed this lab. Just rate it and just click on next event. You can see a certificate of completion is already ready for us. Just refresh this page, you will be able to see the certificate of completion right up here. So uh, that is the, you can say that's the thing, that's the introduction to AWS KMS, Key Management Service, and this is the certificate which we got. So that's it for this video. Hope you guys like this video. We will see in the next video with the new topic, and we will took the introduction to Lambda in the next one. So yeah, see you in the next video. Thank you.